What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle for another episode of Tiny Rails. I like this game a lot. I'm having way too much fun with this one. I figured we'd give you guys a little bit of a follow-up coverage. I don't know if I'll play this long-term or not. Let me know what you think down below. It's a great way to dictate what happens on the channel is those likes and those comments. I do read them. I try to take a minute out every single day to check out what people are saying. We have arrived in Maine, and so that is pretty sweet. Let's get paid. Let's see how much money we made on our way here. We made a little bit of cash. Some people were kind of unhappy with, I don't know if it's the ticket price they're unhappy with or what's going on there. I'm going to try and keep the passengers satisfied, though, by lowering the costs a little bit. Might make life easier. We can lower the market refresh, or we can prevent obstacle encounters. I don't care about that because we haven't even had an obstacle yet. I'm actually kind of interested in the fact that we haven't seen any obstacles. They made a big deal out of the fact like there was going to be obstacles all over the place. Hey! Apparently in Maine they need toilet paper. So there we go. We have sold them toilet paper in Maine. It looks like wood is cheap here. So, yeah, I'll grab some wood. Why not? Do what you got to do, man. Sometimes you got to grab some wood. It is what it is, boo-boo. Let's take a look at the map right now. We are, I think, going to have to flip back around and set the waypoint here. We've got people that want to... We probably have people that want to go to Montpellier. Let's go and check our passenger manifest real quick. We have two people that want to go to Montpellier, and then we have somebody that wants to go to Delaware. Let's see here. So we have two fares that want to go south, and we've got a couple people that want to go to Montpellier. And so the question is, I wish that you could restrict fares or set where tickets would go, because as of right now, we're picking up people that I have no intent of actually delivering to their location unless we make like the full circle around the U.S. East, which I suppose is an option, but like we've got to go back down here in this episode, and I want to see what happens when we go to Baltimore. I want to see what happens once we get down to Maryland, so let's go ahead and we will set a waypoint right there, and I guess we'll change our plan around. We'll do the full loop, and we'll deliver our VIP to Trenton whenever we get down there. I mean, it's going to be a long trip. I doubt he's going to be super happy about it, but hey, sometimes in life you're not happy. It's one of those things Dad used to say. What we get out of our gumball machine here? Ooh, that's a different one. What is that? An oil tanker. So that gives me maximum cargo space, and it gives me a little bit more weight. Okay. You've collected the first set of cars. Your gumball machine has gained a level, and you have a new set to collect. Well, there's still... Oh, engines. I want to buy the engine and the caboose, though. Ooh, let's buy the engine and the caboose. I bet that'll be awesome. So let's add... Can I only have 5 cars? Oh. Okay. Well, let's get rid of the fruit car then. And I'm going to put in the passenger car so that we can carry more passengers. Although I think I would rather have the passenger car right there. It just looks better aesthetically to me. And then we'll drag the park out behind the whole thing. Perfect. Departed. We've got wood. That's all taken care of. Let's make our way to Montpellier. I'll tell you what, this is going to be a long trip. We've actually got like 160 miles to go. And so in all... Oh, it's snowing for just a brief second anyways. That looks like the Northeast that I'm used to. I've only been there once, but damn was it snowing when I was there. It was like a 50-mile-an-hour wind, and it was like non-stop, dude. You couldn't go outside without your face freezing off. It was brutal. Oh, it put snow on the cars. That's a nice little effect. I like that. That's pretty cool. Well, I'll get with you once we arrive in Montpellier. For right now, there's not a whole lot of stuff for us to do and or manage. I mean, there's no cleaning. There's barely any repairs to take care of. And so, frankly, I think we're just going to have to ride our way out there. Not a whole lot of things to explore or do at the moment. We're just enjoying the scenery and having a good time. There's a strong argument to be made for labor laws in this game. Like, when does our engineer and staff need to sleep? I did ask a lady about it when I was riding on Amtrak on that 13-hour go or whatever it was. I got a... Well, actually, no, it was 15 hours. Yeah, pretty close, too, because I got on the train at 5 a.m., and I got into L.A., I think, at 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night. So, yeah, it was actually like... Oh, wow, that was a lot longer than I thought it was. Although the train didn't depart till like 6. And so it was about a 16-hour go. And I did ask the staff, I was like, so what do you guys, like, you guys work the 16 hours? And they were like, yep, 16-hour shifts. And then she said what'll happen is, like, the rail company, when we get to the next station, where they have, like, an employee area with, like, beds and, like, essentially little, like, hostel hotel room things for the employees that work for the station. And she said you work, like, 2 days on, and then, like, so she said you'll have a 16-hour shift, and then you'll have a day off, then you'll have a 16, and then you'll have like a day off, and you'll have, so she's like, I work 3 days a week, but you're away from home a lot. It's kind of like being a flight stewardess or like a flight attendant, I guess. That's not the right word anymore, is it? Stewardess, attendant, I don't know. The world is, oh my God, the size of those harpies in the background, dude. Montpellier, what's going on out here? Y'all need to hire some adventurers to get rid of those things. Put some gold on a job board, bro. You can't have like massive death birds flying around like this. This is a threat to my business right now. This is not a suitable environment for equitable investment, man. You're making me nervous right now. Oh, we made it to Montpellier. Dude, that was long haul. It took forever to get to Montpellier. But yeah, she said that basically it's a job where you kind of got to be married to the job, essentially. Although she said after you do that for like 2 weeks, you get like 2 weeks off or something like that with pay or something like that. It seemed like a pretty sweet deal. Oh, we got a job done. Job's done. We got some cash right there that's been thrown into the cabooses. So there it is. Stack that on up. Got a little bit of money in the car right there. I don't think we delivered that many people, though. Hopefully we'll pick some people up here. We can sell wood at an 8 profit. I don't think that's looking good enough for me, though. I paid 44 for it. I want to see like 20 or 30 as the profit. Onions sell for like 11. So it's not even really worth it to pick those up. It's just one onion. I'm not going to worry about it. Inside of our job board, 25 passengers. We've completed that job, so that's $100. Happy passengers, make a few bucks, and we stick to Railco to boot, all in a day's work. But then, like, the irony of this situation is that we stick it to Railco enough, and eventually we become the Railco. We become the evil we're fighting. We've got $250 there for a George Washington statue, apparently. We've also got money for train upgrades. Apparently our achievements actually give us stuff inside of the game. I'm hoping that there's some cool rail cars that are like the final achievement on these, where like it's stuff you can't get unless you play through the entire game and get like all the little pips and achievements and whatnot. I'm also waiting to see how the game's going to get more complicated as we go in, because if this is it, I think it's a little light on the gameplay variety. Hopefully, I think I got enough money for the caboose though right now. Yeah, so we can buy an engine or we can buy a caboose. I'm going to buy an engine. Let's see what's going on. So we got a blue diesel engine. So we got 110% max weight if using blue diesel caboose. Okay, so there's actually like set items too. Like if you put them together and you... Oh, so what's up with the... I think, what is up with the R stamp right there? Like what does that mean for us? Maybe it means rare or something like that? I'm not entirely sure. Like maybe there's different grades of cars that you get along the way. We're looking pretty solid right now. We've still got some money left over. I'll run the repairs that need to be run. And let's get this thing back on the road. We only have 2 passengers right now, which is pretty brutal. Traveling to Trenton, New Jersey. Okay. I don't particularly like the fact that I need to go back down to Dover. But we will send the waypoint right there, and that's going to be a big old long haul. So let's go for it. We've got a rare chance right now to actually switch directions and head back down south. So that's what's we gonna do. Let's head our way out. We got 190 miles until we get to Augusta, which we were just there. So, you know, the weather has not been entirely too pleasant in the Atlantic Northeast. But then again, it seems like it's the month for the bad weather. You know, you got to do what you got to do. It was weird in Boston, man. You just didn't go outside. That was the truth. Like, I went to PAX, and there were people out there, like, cosplaying with, like, shorty shorts on, wearing, like, hardly anything at all, like, Final Fantasy-type outfits and whatnot. And I was like, you've got to be out of your damn mind. Like, it's seriously, it's 11 degrees outside Fahrenheit. It's 11 degrees, and that's not even the problem. That's not that cold. I've got a parka. You know, I've got a parka with the fur around the neck and around the hood and everything else. Like, I'll be okay. I've got gloves. The problem is that there's like a 30, 40 mile an hour wind that just goes sideways. Like, the wind was so hardcore that it would freeze the water on the ground the second it would hit, so you would get sleet. And so, in the wind, like, I was trying to, when the wind would gust up really badly, like, you couldn't even stand up. Like, it was knocking people over and making them, like, stumble into walls and stuff. The wind was so bad. It was crazy. I've never seen weather like that in my life. It was just like, I guess you just stay inside during this part of the year, because the streets, they were abandoned, dude. There was nobody out. Like, I went sightseeing all throughout Boston in that weather, and there was nobody. Like, for a major American city, there was nobody around anywhere. It was like the entire city was empty, and people just looking out of the windows at you, being like, yeah, he's not from around here. I'm like, it's true. I'm from warm and sunny California. The coldest it gets out here is maybe 32 degrees freezing. I can think of like a handful of days in my entire life where it's gotten below 32. Like, I think we had a day where it was 17 Fahrenheit out here when I was like a senior in high school. And we don't have clothing for that out here because it doesn't get that cold. And so I was just wearing like sweatshirts and like jeans. And I remember I was driving to school in my truck, and there was like condensation on the steering wheel or whatever, and my hands froze to the steering wheel. It was bad. I didn't have a heater, and so it was rough. It was a little rough. We're not acclimatized for that out here. Like normally, I mean, where I live right now, it's usually between 60 and 70 degrees year round. Like in the summer, it'll jump up a little bit to about 80. And you'll have like 1 or 2 errant days where it's like 95 to 104 in there somewhere. But like in the winter, it stays right around like 50, 60 degrees. The only difference is that it rains sideways for about 4 months straight. That's pretty much all there is to say about that. Where I grew up as a kid, it got up to about 120 in the summer. Like, and that's only like 20 miles away from where I am right now. The difference between being in a valley and being next to the ocean is completely and totally, like, it's a world of difference because the valley traps all that heat and it just can't get out. It'll be like 100 degrees at like 4 in the morning, whereas like where I live now, it does get warmer, but every single night the wind kicks up off the ocean and it blows it all out. And so even if it gets up to like 105 at night, it'll blow everything back out and it'll get back down to the 50s. And so I don't know, I love where I live right now. I firmly believe that I live in the most wonderful place as far as climate goes that you could ever possibly live. Rent is atrocious, and in general it's kind of crime-ridden and seedy. But at the same time, I like it. I like my cities with a little bit of edge, a little bit of grime. Then again, I suppose there are limits to grime too. I went to the AMPM the other night, and apparently like an hour before I got there, there was a gunfight over there. I walked into the AMPM to go get like a Slim Jim and a Coke, and the windows were all shot out. My boy Ant was over there running it. And we're like, dude, what the shit happened? And he's like, oh, you know, city business as usual. Gangs getting it out of their system. It's been bad this year, dude. We've had 12 murders now since the beginning of the year, just like within like a 4-block radius of my house. It's been rough. The gangs are getting it out of their system right now. They got like pent up aggression or something. It happens. Like every 5 to 10 years, it seems like something just like explodes and goes off the edge, and it just seems like there's shootings and shit like that all the time. And then within a year or so, there we go. That's a better profit. Within like another year or so, they'll get it all out of their system. They'll call some kind of weird underground criminal piece or something like that, and it'll be fine again. You never know. It's odd. Like last year and the year before that, there was only like 1 or 2 murders. It wasn't bad. Like, it's just the occasional shooting. This year though, it's like fireworks. It's like going down. Like people, I don't know, man. People need to learn more constructive ways to handle their business. But you know, people be like, yo, you wear a blue rag and I wear a red rag. Let's kill each other over it. It is what it is. It looks like our VIP fares jumped off. Oh, cool, we got John Romero on here. John Romero is one of my personal heroes. If you don't know who John Romero is, he did the level design for, like, Wolfenstein. He did a lot of the level design for Doom. So if you think that Doom Episode 1 has, like, the coolest level layouts, like those classic level layouts, you know, Free Doom or Shareware Doom, John Romero is the one that did it. He's one of my personal heroes. I remember as a kid, I've always wanted to be a video game developer, and it's just I have no talent for programming. Like, I suck at it, dude. Like, I programmed for like 2 years, and I was around programmers, you know what I mean? And like people that had a talent for it, and it was just like they saw solutions to problems like instantly that I would sit there like all day staring at and being like, I don't know how to fix this. And so I figured maybe it wasn't something that I should dedicate my entire career to, seeing as my progress was so much slower than everybody else's. Music, great at music. Talking my ass off and just making up shit to talk about, pretty good at that too. Always good with people, but I've never been, I don't know. I remember I realized that I had a project that was due for one of my programming classes, and I remember this other guy banged it out in like 15 minutes, and it took me the better part of like the entire weekend to do the project. And it was just like, dude, like, I think college for me, like, I was always that kid in school that got really, really good grades without trying. And then when I went to college, you know, like, I always felt like I was a little bit ahead of the curve when I was in high school and like junior high. Like, I felt like school was easy. And then I got to college where everybody that's in college is kind of like, you know, the cream of their class crop, essentially, because you have to have good grades to get accepted. And man, being around people who are smarter than you really kind of puts things in perspective. It is a lesson in humility, I will tell you that much. It is never fun to be surrounded with people that are smarter than you. It's tremendously disarming. It makes me feel vulnerable. I don't know if that's how it happens to everybody else. It makes me feel super like at risk and vulnerable when I know I'm around people who are smarter than me, because like any moment they could just like outsmart me. Like, it's just the truth of the matter. They're smarter than me, and that's not really something you can account for, you know. Although there is a difference between being smart and being clever, I suppose. Maybe you could outfox them, you know, in the tortoise and the hare, you know. Brer Rabbit, or however you want to do it, into Concord, New Hampshire. Good old New Hampshire. Inside of New Hampshire. When I went to Boston, I spent a bunch of time, I spent some time in Southie visiting family. It was pretty fun. We rode around. We saw the red bricks. I mean, it was pretty cool. I like traveling. I mean, honestly, one of my dreams in life has always been, like, I would love to make a YouTube travel show where I just travel basically like an idiot abroad, where I travel to places that I'm completely ignorant of, and I do things that make me uncomfortable, and you guys just, like, laugh at me while I do things that I really, really, really don't want to do, but at the same time, like, I have to do because it's part of the show. Like, I would love to do something like that. I would willingly take that job. We've got a bunch of steel that we can haul over here, and we have enough money to load it all on board, so I'm going to do it. I think there's the potential there for some very real profits if we can make this work. Aside from that, there's not a whole lot of other things to get done. We can gumball up if we really want to, but we got to buy the caboose next, I think. I don't know. It said that I leveled up my gumball, but I don't actually think that I did. Let's head on out to Boston. I'll try to make the money to get the caboose, and then we'll move on to the next page or whatever. While we've got some time, let's check the passenger manifest for anybody interesting. Okay, so we've got He-Man on here. That's pretty cool. I like how there's, like, random people up in here. We've got Adora. I don't know who she's supposed to be. She got, like, a superhero headdress, though. So, who knows? She's going to Pittsburgh, apparently. You don't want to go to Pittsburgh, California, dude. I'm telling you, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I don't know how rough Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is, but I'm telling you, if you end up in Pittsburgh, California, you have made a marked life mistake. You don't want to be there. It's like ending up, like, in deep, deep, deep East Oakland. Like, you get there by accident. Like, nobody gets there on purpose. It's like an entire chunk of city that's just, everybody's there on accident. Something went wrong, and now you're in East Oakland. It is what it is. Into Boston we go. Very nice. 1 mile left, and so Boston got the waterfront right there. I did get a chance to walk the waterfront. Had seafood while I was in Boston, too. I had clam chowder while I was there that would absolutely make you cry. Probably the best. It's, you know, you New Englanders, you guys know your way around some clam chowder. I'll tell you all that much. You guys got the chowder game on lock. No lie, +9. I ain't trying to play that. We do have some salmon over here that we can pick up, though, and we can take on board like 10 of that. It's getting expensive, but with the freight that we're hauling right now, we do have the chance to make a decent amount of cash in the future. Are there any new jobs up on the boards? We got a farmer with a county fair. It looks like these actually refresh every day, but luckily the price for refreshing it is fairly cheap and not really that cumbersome, so not stressed about it. Let's be on our way. These are prime money-making hours because our food car is functioning. Our food car is running right now, and so that means that we've got an opportunity. Oh, 21 passengers. Holy shit. We've got Samus on board. Oh, we've got Zoe the dog. Who else is on here? I don't know if, like... We've got Guy. He's a VIP, and he's got himself kind of a floppy hat. That's pretty cool. Oh, cool. We've got Gaben on here. Good old Gaben. Owning the internet and traveling on trains. And other than that, it looks like we got a couple people that want to go to New York. But we're headed that way. Everything's going south except for, I don't think we're going back up to Hartford. How far down are we right now? Yeah, Hartford is behind us, I think. Like, or is it in front of us? I don't know. My geography's terrible. Oh, it's in front of us. Okay. I wasn't even sure where we were on the map right now, in all fairness. Like, the thing is, like, the map is strange. Like, it doesn't look like actual Maine. And, like, it doesn't look like Rhode Island over here and whatnot. And so the map's throwing me off because it looks all weird. Like, the map's definitely throwing me off right now. Like, when I use geography, I have, like, landmarks that I use in order to, like, find locations, you know what I mean? Where you'd be like, oh, yeah, so, like, Rhode Island is over here, and then, like, Florida's down here. Like, you've got little things, you know, that, you know, like, we know that down here in Dover, you've got this little inlet, you know what I mean? Like, this little bay or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm not from the East Coast. I've only been there once, so don't judge me. Once we get to the West Coast, I'll be telling y'all some trivia. I'll be like, and this is where all the stinky-ass cattle farms are, and then you'll see like 1,000 signs down here that say, thank you, Congress, for creating a new Dust Bowl. Like, you'll see all kinds of signs and shit down here, but just people bitching, and then you'll get down to like Oxnard and like Van Nuys, and it'll just be strip clubs as far as the eye can see. Just strip clubs, grime, and just the depression of the San Fernando Valley. Like, and then you start getting into, like, the bay up here. And then you've got to make some, like, careful decisions when you get up into the bay. Although, where's the bay at? Yo, where's the bay? Where's the bay? It's not here. Oh, the depression of realizing that you haven't been included. Life is not fair. Life is not fair at all. These are prime money-making hours. Let's go ahead and see what kind of cash we can do on the market. Plus 40 for steel right here. That's exactly the kind of profit that I'm looking for. So let's make that money. We've got a 10 profit on salmon. I don't think we're going to do better than that. So let's sell that off here too. We're sitting on some pretty fat stacks right now. We've got some decent cash. So let's jump in. We're going to do some upgrades. We're going to buy, actually I want to buy the final train car first. So we'll get the blue caboose. So there it is. We're actually going to get better freight hauling as long as we have these. And so let's jump into our train configuration. And I am going to swap in a new engine. So there's the blue diesel engine. That looks a bit more modern. That's like what the Amtrak ones look like. And then we've got the diesel caboose right there. Looking good. I'm happy with it. I think it looks sexy. Our train's definitely looking a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. We're going to run whatever repairs we have because I haven't repaired or cleaned the place in a while. So it might be a good idea. We do want to get back on the road as soon as possible, though, because if we don't, we're wasting our time here. I mean, our food car is open and it's making money, so let's increase our speed first. I got to get around faster. The faster we get around, the happier people are going to be. So let's depart for Hartford, Connecticut, it looks like. Let's be on our way back down south. Let's roll! Shipping off to Hartford. Whoa! All right, rolling into Hartford. A little bit of a long-haul trip right there, although not nearly as bad as some of the long hauls we've made. There's a monument. Oh, there's like a church back there. Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch. Okay, cool. I don't know what that is because I'm not from here, but, you know, there are landmarks here and there. We've got like a new thing, so it's free money. I'll take that for sure. So there it is. Got ourselves a little bit of cash. And as we pull into the station, we are carrying a lot of people with us right now, so I'm hoping we can... Yeah, $299 right there. Not bad at all. We will take the time to do our maintenance because it has been kind of a long trip. The train is all nice and spruced up, looking good. Pizza's on sale here. Frankly, nothing that's looking like it's going to sell for an amazing price, though, so I'm going to ignore it. Let's continue upgrading. I'm going to keep working on that speed because, frankly, I want to get in between locations faster. Our current cap of passengers is 7. Cargo. We can do max cars, which would probably be a good idea. So there we go. We'll add in another car. Max weight, I don't think we have to worry about for right now. We're not really making enough money to make a lot of this stuff work for us, like max vault. So on we go to New York, New York. I need to do a trip to New York City. I haven't done it yet. That was one of the trips that I was planning on doing, but it's kind of just life gets in the way, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like there's just never time to take out to spend, like, weeks traveling or whatever. And everybody I know says that it's worth it. They'd be like, dude, just take the paycheck hit and, like, take a couple weeks off and just, like, see the world. But I'm like, you can't, though. Like, people got jobs and, like, responsibilities and stuff, man. Oh, did we get our... Oh, we got an obstruction. Toilet paper obstruction. Apparently, toilet paper was in the way of our train. We've been blocked by an errant pile of toilet paper somewhere in between Hartford and New York. Those of you from the East Coast will have to let me know if that's true, if just randomly in between Hartford and New York you find massive piles of train-wrecking toilet paper laying all over the place. That's going to be your, I don't know, you would have the experience there, not I. Not I. 10 miles to New York. Toot toot. Almost there. Got to give you a little victory. Toot toot. Got to do what you got to do. Oh, the Statue of Liberty's over here. Yeah, let's go ahead and capture the Statue of Liberty real fast. Got him. Throw that thing up in the Pokédex and see if we can get paid. $250 for looking at the Statue of Liberty, man. You can't make this stuff up. I wish I could get paid to travel. I would love to do a travel show. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to set up a Patreon for it or something someday. Just see if people want to watch me. But I have to hire like a camera crew and everything else because I don't know how to do that stuff. Camera crew, an editor, all that kind of stuff. I do have a friend who works in Hollywood as a cameraman. He might be worth tapping and asking about that, although he's probably working on his own professional goals at this point. We've got some salmon for a +5 profit. I will sell you off right now. Make a little bit of cash. I'll probably just unload everything over here. Just make a little bit of money now. I mean, everything here was just free laying on the ground, so probably not going to get the best prices for things, but we got prices nonetheless. Yup, prices for our vices. And you know what time it is? It's time for us to buy some trains because we're getting towards the end of the episode here. Let's see what cars we can get. Let's do this thing. So first car out, it's going to be a veggie car, which is going to allow us to haul cargo. It's got a little bit of weight right there. I don't like vegetables, though, so I doubt we're going to use that one at all. Dude, I hate that shit. I don't like, you know, when you see a truck that's just, like, full of tomatoes, you know what I mean? Like, you ever see one of those on the highway when you're, like, on the 80 or, like, the 5 or whatever? You just see, like, a truck that's just full of tomatoes in the sun. It's not a good look, man. That makes me incredibly dubious of those tomatoes. Just a shit ton of tomatoes in, like, the 100-degree sun while it travels down. It's like, I don't know, man. Ooh, a candy car. So it looks like if we use a gingerbread engine and caboose, we get a passenger boost, so it's a set item. That's pretty sweet. I'm gonna keep buying cars. It's too much fun to like gamble and roll things to see what we get. So let's keep going. We've got ourselves the cafe car. Cafe car is definitely tempting because I think this is probably gonna be a moneymaker, right? And so I'll probably strap the cafe car on there. I mean, your people need a way to eat. You're traveling like 8-9 hours. You got to have some kind of condiments or, oh, an outhouse car. So that gives facilities, toilet facilities to be more specific, allows people to have, I don't know how cheap the ticket has to be to where they make you ride in the outhouse, but apparently it gives us passenger capacity too. So, you know, I guess stuff to think about. Let's reconfigure this thing real quick. Let's see what we can add here. So I'm going to go to my cars. We can add, I'm going to put in the cafe car because, hey, you get out of there. Let's go with a cafe car. We'll put that in right there. And how many cars? We got 4 out of 4. So I would like to, a level up is available. Is it? How many car upgrades you have available? Okay, so it was blinking at me. I don't know. It's the only thing on the UI that was animated, so I thought maybe something cool was happening. There's no car level ups available. I assume that happens later on, maybe. We could get rid of, we got the passenger car right there, but I think that's part of the reason why we're making so much money right now is our ability to move that around. As far as facilities go, we don't really have a lot of facilities, but we do have entertainment, which is pretty sweet. I suppose we could take the yellow passenger car off and put in the outhouse car, but I just don't think that's a good look for the promotional brochures. Be like, hey, welcome to our train. It's got toilets. Like, that's just, that doesn't seem, it's not the line that I would lead off with if I was trying to convince people to ride with me down to New Jersey. You know, oh, I forgot to check the market. There's nothing here anyways. Good. I'm glad, because I didn't want to buy anything anyways. 30 miles to Trenton. Good stuff, man. People rip on New Jersey pretty hard. People from New Jersey, does New Jersey suck as hard as people make it out to suck? Like, I've never been to New Jersey, so I can't make, like, a good evaluation. But the thing that seems to come across is that people are like, you know, people always seem to rip on New Jersey. Doesn't seem really fair, right? It's like people rip on Oxnard, you know what I mean? It's not, like, super fair that, like, it catches as much guff as it does without any real, like, reasoning. I don't know, it just seems like a trendy joke to make, you know what I mean? Is it that bad? I bet it's not that bad. I'm sure New Jersey has redeeming qualities. It can't be that terrible. It just can't be. As we pull into Trenton, this is going to be the last little bit of our episode coverage of Tiny Rails. I'm happy with the things that we have so far. I really like this game. If you wanted to support the developers, you can get it down below. Like right now, you can actually go get the game. You are more than welcome to it. And I think you will probably enjoy that. I think the game's pretty sweet. Do you want to see more episodes? Let me know down below. Shout and hoot and holler. And I will definitely consider recording a few more. I will see you all later. As a reminder, anybody that wants to see Escapist's episode, my Escapist is bugged right now and the game crashes and like doesn't work properly, and so I can't record more. Like I want to, but I can't. I just figured I'd put that on the channel somewhere so that at least the word could get out and get transferred around, because I've been seeing comments about it. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for stopping on in. This is Tiny Trains. Bye-bye.